Do you know that strange feeling? The one where you're walking through a familiar place and suddenly something feels wrong. That's how it started for me. I was at work, late, the office nearly empty. I went to the storage room to grab a box of files, and then, just like that, I was gone. I didn't fall. I didn't trip. I just slipped. And when I opened my eyes, I was here. At first I thought it was still my office. The walls were yellow, stained, like old wallpaper from the 70s. The carpet beneath my shoes was damp, smelling of mildew, like it had been soaked and never dried. Above me, the fluorescent lights buzzed and flickered, humming a constant maddening tone that drilled into my skull. I shouted, "Hello?" but my voice didn't bounce back. There was no echo, just silence, swallowing my words whole. I began to walk, thinking maybe this was just another floor of the building I'd never seen before. But every corner looked the same. Every turn led to another hallway, another endless stretch of yellow walls, another damp carpet that squished beneath my shoes. And then I noticed something. The stains on the walls. At first they seemed random, but the further I went, the more they looked like shapes, human shapes, like something had leaned against the wall for hours, days maybe, and left a mark behind. I told myself it was just water damage, just patterns, but I couldn't shake the feeling that the walls were holding secrets. Minutes turned into hours. Or maybe it was only minutes. It was impossible to tell. My phone had no signal, no clock, just a black screen that mocked me when I tried to check the time. And then I heard it. Footsteps. At first I thought it was mine, echoing back delayed. But no, these were heavier, slower, coming from behind me. I turned a corner quickly, pressing myself against the wall. The footsteps stopped. I held my breath. Silence. And then, faintly, like someone breathing right next to my ear, I heard it. "Don't run." My blood froze. I spun around, but no one was there. Just more endless yellow. I forced myself forward, moving faster now. The buzzing of the lights seemed louder, the smell stronger. Every fiber of my body screamed at me to get out. But how? I came across a doorway. Finally, something different. My heart leapt as I pushed it open, but what lay beyond was worse. An empty office room, a broken desk, a toppled chair, and carved into the desk, with something sharp, were 3 words. "It sees you." I stumbled back, heart pounding, when suddenly the light above me flickered violently, and in that split second of darkness, I saw it. A figure, tall, too tall, its limbs impossibly long, its face blurred, standing at the far end of the room. When the light came back, it was gone. But the smell, oh God, the smell lingered, like rot, like something dead had been crawling in here for years. I didn't think, I just ran through the endless maze, turning corners blindly, praying for an exit, praying for anything. And that's when I realized something terrifying. No matter how far I ran, I always ended up back at the same room, the broken desk, the same carved words. "It sees you." I wasn't alone in here, and whatever was watching me was getting closer. I don't remember how long I stood there, staring at those words carved into the desk. "It sees you." They burned into my mind over and over until every blink of my eyes etched them deeper. And then I heard it again, the breathing. This time it wasn't faint. It was close, too close, like someone was crouched right behind me. I didn't dare turn around. My chest locked, my throat closed, my skin crawled with the heavy warmth of something hovering inches away. But then, the lights flickered, For a moment, the room plunged into darkness, and in that black void, I felt it brush against my shoulder. I screamed. The light snapped back, and once again, nothing. Just the room, the chair, the words. But now I was sure of one thing. It wanted me to know it was there. I bolted out of the room and ran down the corridors. Every hallway looked identical, but I swear they were changing as I moved. The stains on the carpet grew darker, spreading like shadows. The buzzing lights screamed louder, almost shrieking. My own breath felt like it was bouncing back at me, but not in sync, like an echo that lagged just a second behind. And then I realized it wasn't an echo. Something was breathing when I breathed. I stumbled, slammed into a wall, and that's when I saw something different. A door, not a hallway, not another yellow passage, but a solid metal door, standing in the middle of the corridor. No hinges, no frame, just a door. I pulled at the handle. It wouldn't budge. Behind me, the breathing grew heavier, closer, louder. I screamed and yanked again, and this time, the door swung open. What I saw inside wasn't an exit. It was worse. Rows of television screens stacked against the walls, flickering static. On each screen, me, my face, my body standing there in real time, from angles that didn't make sense. I saw myself from behind, from above, from corners I couldn't see. And then, on one screen, I saw something else. Not me. It, standing behind me. I spun around, but there was nothing. Just buzzing lights, damp carpet, endless walls. When I turned back, the screens had changed. Now they all showed the same image. One word flashing over and over. Run. I didn't think. I bolted. Out of the room. Down the hall. My legs screamed with pain. But I didn't stop. And that's when I realized I wasn't the only one who had been here. The walls were scratched with messages, scrawled in shaky handwriting. Don't trust the lights. Keep moving. It follows sound. And worst of all, written in a smear of something dark and dried. No one escapes. My throat tightened. My eyes burned with tears. But I kept moving, my feet pounding against the damp floor. The corridors shifted. Angles bent the wrong way. Corners led back to themselves. It was like running inside a nightmare. No matter how far you go, you only end up deeper. And then, silence. The buzzing stopped. For the first time since I arrived, the lights went completely dead. I was plunged into blackness. I couldn't see. I couldn't hear. And then, slowly, something began to move in the dark. Not footsteps, crawling. Fingers scraping against the walls. Long, slow drags that circled me closer and closer. I pressed myself into the wall, biting my lip until blood filled my mouth, praying, begging not to be found. And then I heard it, right next to my ear. You don't belong here. The lights flickered back, and I saw it. Its face inches from mine, a blur of static, like a broken television screen, shifting, twitching. Its eyes, if they were eyes, were endless pits, swallowing every flicker of light. I ran, faster than I'd ever run in my life. The world bent around me, hallways folding into each other. The smell of rot grew unbearable, the air thick, choking, like breathing through wet cloth. I crashed through corridor after corridor, until finally, I saw something new. A staircase. I couldn't believe it. An actual staircase leading down. I didn't care if it was up, down, sideways. I just needed out. I stumbled down the stairs, my hands scraping against the damp walls. The air grew colder, heavier. And then, I reached a landing. A single door stood at the bottom. Plain, wooden. My heart thundered as I pushed it open. And on the other side, I was back. My office, the same desk, the same computer screen glowing, the same unfinished cup of coffee still steaming. It was like I had never left. I laughed, sobbed, collapsed into my chair. My shaking hands reached for my phone. Signal restored. Time passed as though nothing had happened. It was over. But then, my phone buzzed. A notification. A new photo in my gallery. I opened it with trembling hands. It was me, standing in the yellow hallway. And behind me, it